I'll say this one more, and I'll say it one more time again. Listen, if nobody's going to talk about it, I'm here to talk about it. I'm making men great again. Listen, there's a big misconception by men that they somehow believe that if you're single as a man, you're free. No. Your best option as a man is to actually get married. That is the best chance you're going to find that peace as a man and having a wholesome, good life that you get to enjoy for the rest of your fucking eternity as you get to live on this planet. But one of these things that these older guys and these guys try to preach is like, well, I'm single bachelor and I'm going to be a bachelor forever. I'll just keep getting new girls. No, brother. Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about women. Women without a man are almost always insufferable unless they have children. And then when they have children, they understand, oh my God, these fucking children are menaces. And they have to rise above their natural baseline, which is like being a selfish creature, into becoming like more mature and understanding, okay, there's a bigger purpose than myself. I don't fucking run the world. I'm just me. But here's the thing as a man, you have to understand. As a single guy, if you're out here dating, or if you really think for some reason that like, I'm a free guy, I'm a bachelor, and I get to go and run, do whatever I want to do, bro, you're actually dealing with more chaos and more stress in your life than you actually need to be, especially if you're still dealing with women. Because what you start to realize is all women, for the most part, are going to be insufferable unless you coach them on how to be better people. But the only way that you can actually have the equity that a woman will actually listen to you is if you guys both decide to go into a long-term partnership for life, which is called marriage. So if you're refusing to do marriage, what you're going to deal with is insufferable women who will never listen to you or care what you have to say, because they don't have to. There's no equity in the relationship. They can leave, you can leave. So why does she have any motivation or any reason to be a better person to you? For what? Unless she's trying to get something out of you. And that's where most of you dumb-downs fucking fall apart, is because you guys don't realize why, if she's not building a life with you, why would she even deal with you? Unless you're going to pay her. Now, if you're willing to pay her, then yeah, she's going to listen to you. But guess what? You better hope that your money never runs out, or there's never a guy with a bigger bag that can fucking buy her off of you. And see, that's what a lot of you niggas don't understand. You have to understand, relationships are equity. The same way you have a relationship with your boys, which is like when you kick it with your boys, you go out, you do things, you do mission, you go do productive activities, you go do hood rat shit with the homies, you get drunk, you got some fights, you build memories, and you build fucking a bond because you guys are boys. You kick it. You fucking are building a friendship that's going to last a lifetime. And the same thing has to be applied to your girl. But here's the thing. Most girls are not very good friends. That's why most girls don't even like hanging out with other girls, because they know how bitchy other girls are. And so as a man, you have to understand this fundamental thing that like she wants to be with a man. She desperately wants a man. And a lot of these women are just out here shooting shots in the dark. And like Mrs. Apex, who I'm fucking disgusted by. She is, oh my God, I'm so mad at Mrs. Apex. She shot a shot in the dark and came up on the greatest YouTuber and the greatest man and probably the future president of the world, because she just shot a shot in the dark and she had a good feeling. And so now I'm doing all this hard work and building the equity, trying to figure out the relationship, doing all this husband shit. And you know what she gets to do? Kick her feet up and just wait for me to tell her things to do. That's all she gets to do. And so it's my job to fucking try to make her into a nice human being before her looks run out. That's my job. That's essentially my thing. I got to teach her how to be cool and kick it with me so we don't have fucking relationship issues when she's old and wrinkly and I'm old too, and we're not just sitting there mad at each other because I didn't do my job earlier on in the game. And see, that's what a lot of you guys don't want to fucking do. You guys are so scared of the work. You guys are so scared of fucking putting your relationship at stake, because the gamble is she's going to take half your shit, which I think is fair. I think she really should get half your shit, really. If you decide to be a piece of shit and not do your job in the marriage, she should get half your shit. She should get everything. You should have to restart from scratch, because she don't get the fucking restart from scratch. As a man, you become more valuable at times because you become more wise and all this other bullshit. And, you know, you guys get the game. Old man ages like wine. So your job as a man is to basically make your girl likable. How do you make your girl likable? You got to show her love. And you know how you show love? Love is through discipline, duty, responsibility, and doing careful acts. Caring acts of like gratitude. That's how you show love. Doing art. Doing things that make her happy to show, hey, look, baby, I care about you. But here's the thing. Here's the trade-off. You got to let her know, look, baby, this goes against my very nature. I'm a selfish mother bleeper. I'm more selfish than you are. So the very act that I'm taking time out of my busy day from playing God of War, from making YouTube videos, from just bullshitting, just laying around playing with my balls, is more enjoyable than watching this horrendous TV show that you gotta make me watch. But I'm gonna do it because I care for you. I love you. I know you want to talk about the show to me. And you know what? Sometimes she actually picks a good show. She might pick a good show every once in a while. But that's the thing, man. You have to understand. Most of the women you come by are just they're level 1 to level 2 or 3 or 4 of being a good human being that has ethics and morality and all that other stuff. Most of the time they don't, unless you're doing a single mom. Single moms, they kind of get it because they understand like it's tough. It's tough being a human being, and so they have different respect. But the single pretty girl that's young, oh my god, she's insufferable. She knows everything. She can't be taught anything. I roll the roll. Girls, they listen to Taylor Swift, all this other bullshit. You gotta suffer through that. But here's the thing: you gotta understand. There's going to be a trade off. There's going to be a dividend paid off to you in the future if you stick through it and you work with her and you show her tough love. You guys, it's just like a coach. Listen, the best coaches that you appreciate in time are the ones that were tough on you. The ones that didn't let you get away with the bullshit. See, the coaches that let you get away with the bullshit, they did you a disservice because they were trying to make you appease you. That don't help in life. In life, you got to be tough. You got to be a tough guy. You got to be a tough person. Because life gets tough, man. Life gets hard. There's heartache. There's fucking ups and downs. There's trivial things. There's war. There's famine. There's a lot of things. Struggle. Life is just a giant struggle. But one of the things that you understand is you can persevere as long as you fucking keep the right mentality, which is keep doing the best I can do every day and try to move the needle forward into a positive direction. And that's what you got to realize with your girl. You got to be patient with her because most guys, her father, her ex-boyfriends, all these guys, they did a terrible job. Her fucking man friends, they did a terrible job at checking her because once again, they don't have any equity. So like, I mean, fathers have equity, but the boyfriends, there's no equity. But when you're a married man, when you're a man who understands that you're on a path, you're following the light, you're following the good Lord that fucking gave you common sense. When you follow that fucking path, what you begin to understand is that it takes time. It takes time. She's not going to grow overnight. She's not going to figure it out in fucking a day. She's not going to figure it out in a fucking year. She's not going to even figure it out in probably a decade. She's not going to figure it out. She's going to be unruly. She's going to test your boundaries. She's going to continue every fucking day to test you. I'm telling you, I'm mad at Mrs. Apex. Mrs. Apex did some fucking unethical shit. And I got to deal with it. I got to go fucking check her. But here's the thing. They secretly like it. They like to fucking learn about themselves because nobody ever tells them. So when you can get past the beauty, and this is why it's so important to understand, like, beauty is just beauty. That's it. It don't mean nothing. You gotta test her and measure her by the amount of work she's willing to put in to make herself a better person. And it's just like anything else with your kids and everything else. Like, your kids are going to be fucking monsters. They're animals. They don't fucking give a shit about anything. They're selfish little fucking beings. Feed me. I'm crying. Give me this. I'm mad, angry. Your kids, you're not going to see an investment in your kids until they're down there like 20-something, 30. And then by the time they hit 30, they wake up and they go, oh, I get it now. That makes sense. This is why dad did what he fucking did. This is why mom said no. I understand now. It's the same thing with your fucking wife. She's not going to get it at first. At first, she's going to be just, oh my God, you're always getting on me. I'm like, girl, I have to. Because if I don't do, who else is going to do it? And she's going to be like, oh, that's a good point. And that's what I'm trying to explain to the brothers. Brothers, you have to be willing to put in the work. You got to be willing to show up day in, day out. I don't care how tired you get, how fucking sick you are. You show up and you fucking do it because you got to set the example. She's looking at you as the example. So if you behave like a righteous and good human being, and you open and clear with your communication, she will follow suit because she wants to be led. They look, women don't want to be leaders. They fucking hate being bosses. They hate being leaders. They'll talk that shit. But at the end of the day, they want a man to come home and cry to and be like, oh, man, I love you so much, honey. You make me so much better. You like, yeah. But here's the thing. You're doing it because you're looking for the payoff when you guys are like in your deep 50s and 60s and your grandparents and you're fucking kicking out your estate. And then she's nice and likable. It was really like kind of like kicking it with your homeboy, and that sounds kind of gay. It does sound a little bit gay. But what you have to understand is, as a man, is that that's what you need. You're looking for a companion. You're looking for a friend. You're looking for somebody who's there to ride with you for the rest of your fucking life until you're end of your days, and that's how life goes. But if you want to keep being a single guy and keep thinking the bachelor life is good and you're free, well, guess what? You just have to deal with insufferable women for the rest of your fucking life. Because they're never going to listen or behave unless you pay them. but they're not gonna like you or love you because they're like, oh, you're a piece of shit. Why would you get married? Why would you fucking take me seriously? Why would I take you seriously? You're not taking me serious. And that's a fair assessment by women. I can't even get mad at that one. Peace. Thank you for listening.